Hi, I'm John, and this is a video series on losing your licence, what to expect when you lose your driving licence, and just generally to guide you through what will happen, because you're likely, the viewer, someone who has lost their licence, and that's why you're looking to find a video on what happened. Personally, I lost my driving licence coming up a year ago. And I looked online for videos on it, and I couldn't really see videos sort of guiding you. There was pages on Google, so I decided to make a video. And this is part one. You've lost your licence, what should you do? And I'm just going to briefly talk about what happened with me, what you should expect, what you should prepare for, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we'll briefly start with me, what happened when I was arrested. Basically, I was driving from a friend's house and I was just going to drive home, and it was basically 2-minute drive. It was just 5-minute walk or 10-minute walk. I should have just walked it. I decided to get in my car, but I didn't turn my headlights on, and because I forgot. And as I went to go down a road where there's no street lights at all, I realised that they were off. I turned them on to see a policeman standing at the end of the road waving at me. So I drove up to him and he asked me to do a breath test, and I ended up at the station, spending the night in the station and losing my licence, but the following month. What will happen is you'll be given, and what's happened to you is you were given a charge sheet, and on that charge sheet from the police it has a date for your court summons, I think, or you get that in the post. I can't quite remember now. I believe you get a court date sent through by the court, a separate date, and that will tell you when you should appear in court. Basically with me it was about 6 weeks after the actual arrest, my court date. So for 6 weeks I could drive around, I can still carry on driving even though I know that I'm going to lose my licence. Even though I was planning on trying to not lose my licence, you're pretty much going to lose it. You're not going to be able to really get out of it. There's no way that you can, unless you really have got a reason other than drink, that you were seemingly intoxicated. I didn't actually do a breath sample, but if you refuse to do a breath sample or you are unable to give one, unless you have a reason why, like asthma or a lung problem, then they treat it exactly the same as you are over the limit. So they treat it exactly the same as if you're over the limit. So right, so what should you do? What should you do? Well, you should prepare travel arrangements, work, or whatever else. So, I happen to work half an hour away by car, an hour away by bus. I don't need my car for the job other than getting to and from work. So I arranged a lift. Now I get the bus, but I arranged different ways to travel to and from work, because obviously when I lose my licence, I've got to get to work and I've got to get back, unless I can quit the job and go somewhere else. But it's not a time to be quitting when you haven't got a licence, because it doesn't look good when you're applying for a job. So yeah, just arrange how you're going to get to and from work. Start thinking about it. You might have 5 weeks, whatever, till you lose your licence. Start planning. Plan early. It makes sense. Tell family. You've probably already done this. You might not have. It's not easy to tell family because you've made a critical error and it's going to affect everybody. So it's not a small thing, so I found that really hard, telling family. It's something you just want to have a little think about before, and how you're going to approach it, because people are going to be upset and annoyed. Telling work, I work for a family business, which I think, if you get on with them, it definitely helps. It's not a big corporation. When you've got a big corporation, it's different. But for me personally, I sent an email. I did feel really bad about it. I sent an email to the boss and sort of explained before I came in, and then when I went into work, she came to me, and then we spoke about it. And you know, it's not easy to do. You don't want them to get the arse, so you have to approach that. Just have a little think about how you're going to approach it. It all depends on the personal cases. Yeah. Talking of work, you're going to be the butt of jokes. Get ready for that, because that's coming. It's going to be like, oh yeah, you know, oh yeah, have a few drinks. You going to drive? Oh no, you lost your license. You know, it's going to be. I get that all the time. It drives me up the wall, but it comes with the whole scenario. So get ready for that. Get a solicitor. You're going to need a solicitor. Have a look around. Not always the closest is the best. I got someone advised me, a solicitor, that worked well with what I needed them for, which is like automobile incidents. You know, you don't want to end up with a solicitor that specialises in marriage, or divorces or whatever, because they're going to be crap and they probably won't do it anyway. Be honest with the solicitor, don't lie. Yeah. Naturally, you're going to want to try and get out of this. Okay, what have I done? How can I get out of it? You know, I could say this and say that. There is no way that you will get out of it if you're going to try to, because solicitors, number one, the solicitors have heard it all before, and number two, the court will not. They just won't put up with it. And number three, the police have got video footage of you and God knows what, which they will happily use in court. So, you know, you're going to have to be honest to the solicitor. If you're not honest, they'll just see straight through it, because they've basically literally seen it all before. So be ready for those who dislike you for what you did. Yeah, there's always the occasional people. There was a couple of people at work, and yeah, ever since this whole thing, they're just sort of like, all right. And yeah, they look like they want to kill me. It hasn't been the same since, but you can understand it. You know, from their point of view, they don't know the whole story. They're picturing you going, I'll just mow someone over. Oh, you know, they don't know your scenario. They don't care to know your scenario, and they're going to judge you. People always judge people. You're going to get those. Maybe you won't. Don't know, but you might get those like I've got that literally think you're the biggest arsehole going, and they're not wrong. And I'm joking, that they are a little bit. So yeah, I think I've covered the main points. It's going to be tough, but you know, this is the very first bit. It's probably a bit of shock. I was quite shocked that I was like put in a cell, fell asleep, woke up in the cell, then you know, you get given the charge sheet, and then it's like, oh my god, I've like lost my license, I've lost this, I've lost everything. You know, it's hard, it's a shock, but you will bounce back from it, because you just will. But this is part one. You've lost your license. Now prepare and get ready for when you do lose it, because you're in that period between the two, or you should be watching this video. So just prepare yourself for the day when you go to court and you lose it, and you know, because once it comes, that's it. You won't be driving any car again. So for a year or whatever. So yeah, we will look at part two in the next video, which will be on drink drive awareness courses, which you're probably going to be given one of them, and where you go from in between losing your license and getting it back. You know, what's the best way to approach things. That's part two, and that'll probably be coming in a couple of weeks. So enjoy the video and good luck. My name's